1. The skin's secret factory. The skin might look simple, just a thin outer shell, but it's the body's busiest construction site. The moment you get a cut, your entire system launches into overdrive. First, blood rushes to the wound, clotting within seconds to form a temporary dam. That dark red scab? It's not just dried blood. It's biological armor, sealing the site while new cells work underneath. Fibroblasts move in next, laying down collagen like scaffolding, rebuilding the torn tissue fiber by fiber. Nerves reconnect, new capillaries grow, and in a few days the surface closes. But even after it looks healed, the process isn't done. Scars form as collagen fibers pull tight, stronger but less flexible than before. Your skin rebuilds itself with military precision, 24 hours a day, for life. But what happens right before that? The redness, the swelling, the heat? That's not infection, it's inflammation. Your body lighting a controlled fire to save you. 2. Inflammation, the fire that saves you. Inflammation gets a bad rap. We treat it like the enemy. Redness, swelling, pain, but it's actually your body's emergency response team. The instant tissue is damaged or invaded, chemical messengers sound the alarm. Blood vessels widen, flooding the area with oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells. That's why it feels hot. Your body is literally increasing circulation to fix the problem. White blood cells rush in like firefighters, burning away bacteria and dead tissue. The swelling? That's fluid leaking into the area to cushion and contain the damage. Pain is your built-in warning light, a signal to stop using what's hurt so healing can begin. When it's working right, inflammation saves you. When it doesn't shut off, it becomes chronic, the silent spark behind diseases like arthritis, heart failure, and diabetes. It's healing through controlled chaos. And when that chaos isn't enough, your body has another trick, turning up the heat from the inside. Fever, your thermostat's secret weapon. 3. Fever, the body's thermostat attack. When you get sick, your body doesn't just fight, it turns up the heat. Fever is one of the strangest healing tricks we have. Deep inside your brain, the hypothalamus resets your body's thermostat, raising the temperature to make life miserable for invaders. Most bacteria and viruses thrive around 98.6 degrees, but push that up just a few degrees and they start to struggle. Meanwhile, your immune cells move faster, like soldiers fueled by adrenaline. It's not the sickness causing the fever, it's your body supercharging itself. That's why mild fevers shouldn't always be crushed with meds. The warmth is part of the cure. Of course, too high, over 104 degrees, and it becomes dangerous, cooking your own proteins instead of the pathogens. It's evolution's version of, if it's on fire, it can't spread. But heat alone isn't enough. Next comes the real cleanup crew, billions of microscopic soldiers that hunt, trap, and devour the enemy. 4. White blood cells, the internal army. Your white blood cells are the body's invisible army, patrolling every inch of tissue, ready to attack anything that doesn't belong. There are millions of them, and each type plays a different role. Neutrophils are the first responders, racing to wounds within minutes to engulf bacteria. Macrophages follow, bigger, slower, and meaner, devouring debris like microscopic garbage trucks. Then come the specialists. T cells that assassinate infected cells, and B cells that build antibodies, molecular wanted posters for future battles. Once the fight's over, some of these cells turn into memory units, remembering every enemy they've ever met. That's how vaccines work, by training this army without the real war. Your immune system is brutal but precise, a biological SWAT team that doesn't rest. And when damage goes beyond what cells can patch, the body calls in its engineers, bones that literally break themselves to heal stronger. 5. Bone remodeling, breaking to build stronger. Bones might seem solid and permanent, but they're alive, constantly breaking down and rebuilding themselves. When you fracture one, the healing process is pure engineering genius. Within hours, blood cells form a soft clot around the break. Then, special cells called osteoblasts move in and start building a collagen bridge, a flexible framework for new bone to grow on. Next, calcium and minerals harden the structure, forming a temporary callus. Over weeks, it's reshaped and refined until it's nearly indistinguishable from the original, sometimes even stronger. It's like patching a wall, then reinforcing the entire foundation. Even uninjured bones remodel constantly. Your skeleton replaces itself every 10 years, molecule by molecule. It's how weightlifters get denser bones and astronauts lose them in zero gravity. Your bones don't just heal, they adapt. And speaking of regeneration, one organ takes that concept to superhero levels: the liver, nature's built-in spare part. 6. The liver, the great regenerator. If the human body has a superhero organ, it's the liver. It filters blood, breaks down toxins, stores energy, and manufactures vital proteins. And if you damage it, it can literally grow back. No other internal organ comes close. Surgeons can remove up to 70% of a healthy liver, and within months, it regenerates to full size. The secret lies in hepatocytes, specialized liver cells that can multiply like crazy when needed. They don't just heal wounds, they rebuild architecture, restoring both shape and function. This regenerative ability evolved for survival. Ancient humans faced constant injuries, toxins, and infections, so the liver became nature's insurance policy. It's why liver transplants from living donors work. Both donor and recipient regrow what was lost. Your liver isn't just repairing damage, it's rewriting itself from scratch. But not every healing process feels miraculous. Some feel like punishment, like pain, the body's most misunderstood protector. 7. Pain, the unwanted protector. Pain feels like the body betraying you, sharp, burning, relentless. But in truth, it's one of the smartest survival tools evolution ever built. Without pain, we'd destroy ourselves without even realizing it. Pain receptors, called nociceptors, live in your skin, muscles, and organs. They detect extreme pressure, heat, or chemicals, anything that signals danger, and send a lightning-fast alert to your spinal cord before your brain even processes it. That's why you jerk your hand away from a hot stove before you feel the burn. People born without the ability to feel pain, a real condition called congenital insensitivity, often live short lives filled with broken bones, infections, and injuries they never noticed. Pain isn't pleasant, but it's essential. It's your body's alarm system, and the noise means you're still alive. Pain teaches, protects, and warns. But sometimes healing goes beyond flesh, when the body's wounds fade and the brain begins to repair itself. 8. Neuroplasticity, the brain's hidden healing power. The brain isn't a fixed machine, it's a living network that rewires itself constantly. Every memory, habit, or skill literally reshapes its structure. And when trauma strikes, stroke, injury, or even emotional shock, that flexibility becomes its secret weapon. Neurons communicate through trillions of connections called synapses. When one pathway is damaged, the brain reroutes signals through new ones, like traffic finding a detour after a crash. In stroke patients, healthy regions can take over lost functions, speech, movement, even sight, through months of retraining. This ability, called neuroplasticity, doesn't fade with age. Learning, therapy, and even new experiences can strengthen or rebuild neural maps. It's proof that the brain isn't just surviving, it's adapting, healing, evolving. The mind is both fragile and unstoppable. And while the brain rebuilds in patterns we can see, another repair team works in total secrecy, deep inside your DNA. 9. DNA Repair, the invisible maintenance crew. Every second of your life, your DNA is under attack. UV light, radiation, pollution, even normal metabolism, all of it damages your genetic code. Each of your cells takes tens of thousands of hits a day. And yet, you don't fall apart. Why? Because your body has a microscopic maintenance crew working non-stop. Special enzymes patrol your DNA, scanning for errors like editors reading a manuscript. When they find a typo, a broken strand, or mismatched base, they cut it out and rebuild it, atom by atom. This happens millions of times a day, quietly, perfectly, invisibly. Sometimes, though, mistakes slip through. That's how mutations form, the tiny glitches that can lead to cancer or, occasionally, evolution itself. DNA repair is nature's most delicate balancing act. Too little, and we decay. Too much, and we'd never change. Your survival depends on invisible perfectionists. But even this system has a limit, a line where healing ends and mortality begins. 10. Regeneration versus Immortality, the ultimate healing limit. The human body is a masterpiece of repair, but it's not immortal. Every cell has a counter, a limit to how many times it can divide. Once it hits that cap, it shuts down. This built-in expiration date prevents runaway growth, the kind that becomes cancer, but it also means we age. Some creatures escaped this deal. Salamanders can regrow limbs, jellyfish can reset their life cycle. Humans can't. Our complexity comes at a cost. Every cut heals, every cell renews, but each cycle leaves microscopic scars. Over decades, those scars add up, in skin, in organs, even in DNA. Still, we're not helpless. Every heartbeat, every breath, every night of sleep is repair in motion. Our bodies patch and rebuild with the quiet persistence of something that refuses to quit. We can't live forever, but we can heal endlessly until the very end. Because the real miracle isn't immortality, it's survival itself. See you in the next video. Everyone yawns. Babies in the womb, athletes mid-game, even your dog when you yawn first. But why?